Hey guys, this is Andy McCann coming to you on our podcast where we're trying to help you lay a firm foundation in fitness, food, and finances. And this episode is for owners for gym owners that also use Wodify. So I know if you're members or normal listeners and you're like, hey, what is going on here? So I've got an event coming up and I wanted to have some evergreen material that they could listen to. So owners, if you've got the email and you're like, hey, let me check out the YouTube video or the podcast, this is both of those. YouTube, obviously a little bit more visually appealing, but I'll try to describe as much as I can on the podcast. Although YouTube tends to ban my videos about Wodify because I think it sees people's names as personal information, and it's like, hey, you can't show that. So I'm going to try to do some things to maybe let it get through there. But okay, so we've got an event coming up. The event is at our gym. And if you're, maybe this is later on and you guys are looking at other events, but currently the one I'm talking about is going to be December 7th at CrossFit Garage in Woodstock, Georgia. We're going to start at 11 a.m. I'm trying to get Wodify to sponsor a steak lunch for all of us that comes in from Cherokee Cattle Company just down the street. We'll see if that works. But the whole idea is sharing insights and the way we do business to help each other do better business. So I've been in the game since 2008. We opened the gym, CrossFit Garage, and then we did the garage games, did a bunch of other stuff. We picked up Wodify in 2013. The whole company started in 2012, so we were early adopters. My customer ID is like 267. I've been using this tool a lot. And what I want to be able to do is help you guys, and then you obviously help me, and show us what we're doing in the tools, because I've come up with things that they didn't even know that you could do or should do, and I'll explain that to you guys. But I'm just going to walk through their feature list and tell you what I'm doing. And you could be thinking, oh, I haven't done that. Or you could think, oh, I do that too. Or you may see me skip over something and then go, well, I should do that. So anyway, this is just me. And these are the things we're going to talk about. I'm going to run through them kind of quick. So I've got Wodify pulled up, or Wodify Core. So this is an admin view. And on the left side, you have a bunch of things you can do. So there's some key elements. So the main headliners. And then underneath of them, there's a drop-down list for everything. So it's perform, media, communication, people, classes, appointment, financial, retail, digital presence, workflows, which is key, analytics, and account. Okay, most of these I'm going to go through and at least tell you a little bit what I'm doing inside of them. First one is going to be perform. Under perform, it's basically the workouts that we're doing and anything we want to track or have members track. So you've got 4 more drop downs as daily workouts, library, pulse, and settings. So the daily library, what that is our workout. So in our gym, we follow CrossFit affiliate programming because we're an affiliate. It populates, we do some deleting and editing and so forth. The thing I want to show you that I do in here that might be different from you guys is we know that showing up makes it super sticky to get to your health and fitness. So my goal, yes, we want to make money. It's a business. I do want to make money because without profit, there is no passion. But I am very passionate about helping people. And we want to help them get sticky to doing the things they should do to become harder to kill. So we use CrossFit because there's a great shortcut to becoming harder to kill. We use CrossFit affiliate programming because we're a CrossFit affiliate. We should probably use what they say. I agree with the method. Anyway, if we know that showing up is sticky, then I need to do things to help them be sticky to come in because we want them to become harder to kill. So showing up is key. How do I get them to show up? It's got to be fun, and they got to have fitness, and there's got to be some coaching. But inside of that, if you can kind of gamify the workouts a bit, it does help. So I'm looking at a workout for Friday. There is a session we're going to do some hang power cleans, and that's titled, and you're going to log your numbers. That's cool. And then we've got a workout. We named it. We always name every workout in case it comes up again. And this one is called squat clean burpee time. So it's squat clean burpees for time. So we're using the CrossFit gives us 3 levels. Right now this week we're trying populating all 3 levels to let our members try it. So when CrossFit gives it to us, they say, hey, here's RX, which most of us can't do. Here is intermediate and here is beginner. Most of us could do intermediate. So all I did, because Wodify has the ability to track multiple levels of a workout, there's RX plus, RX, and scaled. Once you hit scale, it doesn't track it because it doesn't know what you scaled. But I've put this in here as RX plus is the normal workout, and then RX is the next one. That way we can actually log both numbers and you get more interesting data rather than just I did it. It's going to save that and give you a trend line and some comparisons. So that's one hack we do. The next thing is in this workout, it's got squat cleans as one of the movements. Well, so what I did then after that is it's got 18, 15, 12, 9, 6, 3. So it's just descending rep scheme. And you're going to do squat cleans at 135 pounds for guys, 95 pounds for girls. Okay. The workout in Wodify, they don't care what's inside of it. It's just do it and then log your time. So in order to care what's in there, what I've done is gone down and said, hey, I added a new header called for reference. So they know it's not an actual workout. It's just reference only. And I put squat clean because squat clean is what they asked you to do. Now you can log your squat clean, building more opportunities for PRs, as well as getting better trend lines. So when it says, hey, do this lift at this percent, you'll actually know because it uses an equation to come up with an estimated 1 rep max. I think it's Brightsky's equation. Anyway, so that's something we do. We want to have more opportunities for them to log more data if they want to. And they're going to get more charts, more graphs, and more stars. And everyone loves stars, right? So we can hit more PRs. Anyway, that's one thing we're doing with the daily workout. Of course, you have your library. The library is just every workout that you ever put in there. I think we've got something like 3,000 workouts, 4,329. So the sad thing is a lot of them don't repeat. And since we never come back and see them, it's just a train day. That's not really a test day. And not every day should be a test day. But there's some workouts that'll never come back up. And that's okay. We're still moving. But I like to track when I can. That way we can compare. Not that comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison is great because you get to see how you're going on this road, right? All right, then there is pulse. We don't use that. That's that little heart rate strap. And then there's a settings. Of course, that's just settings. Media, you can actually drop in your own library worth of stuff. So you can put videos in there that'll populate and pop up. If you're doing martial arts, this is actually really good. If you're doing like CrossFit movements, well, YouTube pretty much has everything. And CrossFit affiliate programming actually pre-populates videos. So I don't really use this fully yet, but I'm trying to see how I can use it. All right, communication. This one's going to be a little bit tough. This is where Wodify or YouTube police don't like me showing people's names, so I'm going to try to cover some stuff up. So in communications, you have a couple things, and I live in here a lot. So there's tasks, which, man, this is beautiful. I love tasks. I couldn't run the business without it. SMS, which is texting, in-app chat, announcements, mass emails, automated emails, conversations, and settings. So I'm going to go through a couple of these, and I've got to pause and set this up so that I don't get banned. Okay, so I think this is going to work. When I click on tasks, you can set it up so that people get tasks or positions get tasks. I like the idea of using a position. That way I can say, hey, this is my lead person. And then maybe that lead person moves to Alaska and you need to change them out. So you just change out the lead person in the one of the buttons down below. I'll have to show you that later. But anyway, you change them out. So now the task goes to the lead client or the lead manager. Now, if you've got say you have a coach that's helping out with clients and keeping them up to date, you can name a coach as a client manager. And so you can assign tasks differently to a position rather than a coach. So let's say I've got Coach Timmy and I've assigned everything to him and then he moves. Now I got to go in there and figure out like where he's at and reassign it and all that stuff. I don't have to actually do that. It still shows up. And when you click everyone's tasks, they show up. So you'll get them done. But I like using a position rather than a name. I think it's got easier utility down the road in case, things change up. All right. So things that you're looking at doing, you can kind of see this. Let me move this to the side a little bit. So some of the tasks for me, I've already done a bunch of them today. I should have waited. So most of my tasks are future facing. Actually, all of them are because I already did them today. So I've got, so I know I forget to do things all the time. I've got members in the gym that are pregnant and I want to check in on them, right? So I have put a recurring task like every 2 or 3 weeks, check in to see how they're doing, either if they're in the gym or out of the gym. If they're out of the gym, then this automation works differently because it's different flows and formulas, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I still want to task myself. So if in somebody's player card or their account, I can hit Shift-T and create a task right then. And so like this one that I'm on first right now is, how are you doing? And it's a recurring task to remind me to do it every 3 weeks to check and see how she's doing. All right, then there's most of these are, hey, you ready to come back? I had a bunch of people take off for the summer. Then they wanted to go a little bit longer because of school. And so it just reminds me that I said, hey, I should check in on you in a couple days, weeks, or whatever. And I'm going to forget. I'm 50. I don't have Post-it notes. I don't use my phone with the reminders. I needed a way to do this. And hitting Shift-T in somebody's account is awesome because now I can set up a task for me or anybody that's in your staff, right? Okay, so then we've got, let's see if I can do this texting without blowing it, without getting banned. Okay, I think this is going to work. So I pulled up the texting page. You get a number from Wodify. and you can text in and out on it just like your phone. The nice thing is it's all in the app, so everything is together and everybody gets to see what everybody is doing. You can do cool things like, let me actually see if I can do this without banning myself. Hold on, it's so tedious. Okay, so I clicked new message, and then I'm going to click, I'm going to type in client, and it's going to give me a list of my clients that I could choose. All right, hopefully that stays. Yeah, that stayed. So I typed in the word client. I could type in somebody's name. I could type in Timmy and it'll pull up Timmy, but I typed in client and it's got all these clients activated. It says, hey, which ones do you want to talk to? So you can create groups out of this. Another cool part is I can text, like I can create individual texts. So it'll just go to one person at a time. And this is pretty important when you get into the in-app chat. Let me show you that. Okay, so I've clicked in-app chat. That page is up and I got the messages hidden. So it does a lot of internal messaging here. So it's free. Don't have to go through texting and spend money for, sending out. The SMS is just short message. What does the other S stand for? Anyway, it's basically just a regular old text. So when you do a new in-app chat, you can actually do it to a single person, just like a normal text, right? Or you can create a group. So you could do like 5 a.m. class, boom, and text all of them, right? So you could also have like your entire gym on one text thread or in-app chat thread, which would be horrible, but you could do that, and everybody could go back and forth. That may be fun for like an event where you're calling each other out, but I can see how that would be like horrendous over time. It's kind of like having a Slack channel, but with too many people on it. All right, let me jump into announcements. Looks like we haven't used this one in a while. Let's see. Let me pull up some past announcements. So we've got, I haven't used it in a long time. So I've sort of cheated on announcements because it comes up in its bold and now the app actually will show it to you. So I should do this, but, I haven't done it in a while. What I've done to cheat for an announcement is I create a header in the workout that says, hey, remember to do that thing, whatever it is. And then the coaches, when they're going through the workout, they're like, oh yeah, the very first workout is called remember to resubscribe to your email or whatever. So I'm guaranteed for it to show up. But these announcements are great. It goes across their app on their phone when they sign in, or it'll be at the top when they're using the coach board and stuff. All right, so we got mass emails. Of course, you know what that is. You can send emails to clients and to leads. I use that a lot. I do a weekly email. And I include, like YouTubes and podcasts and whatever else I'm doing. There is automated emails. This has been around forever. It's the stuff that Wodify pre-populated. You can turn them off and on or edit them around if you want to. I just left pretty much all of them the same. You can create conversations between segment groups. So, for example, we do a summer strength, and then I'll create a group there, and we can just converse with just that group. And then there's settings. Okay, the next one is people, and let's see if I could do this without getting in trouble. Let's see, let me pause you and fix this. Okay, that'll work. I'm just using a little notepad to cover up people's names in case YouTube tries to throw me in jail. All right, so under people, you got leads, clients, retain, beautiful, segments, and progressions. Progressions I'm actually just working on now and doing something that they didn't intend, and I love it. I love breaking this stuff. Well, it didn't break anything. I love using it in a new way. So leads, there are multiple categories you can use in a lead. So you've got they're brand new. I've contacted them. They're on trial. And all those would be considered open. I've converted them into a member, or I've disqualified them. And I like that you can set up these groups so you can actually email different groups, or you can see this list like I do, and I'll actually come back like a month or two later on and be like, yeah, let me look to see if there's any activity that I want to check in on, and I'll maybe text somebody from my phone or from the app, right? You can toss in some notes like, hey, is interested in kids stuff. This person is moving or leaving Orange Theory and looking to come over. You can go right into their account by clicking on the eyeball on the right. So this screen is easy. I can get a lot of work done just looking at this. The same thing for the clients. I'm not going to go in there because it's a pain to hide it, but it's got all your clients in there. The next cool one is retain, and let me pop that up. Okay, so inside of retain, what it's trying to tell you is you've got customers that aren't showing up or they're not hitting the metric that you've identified as the retain. So there's 3 levels. There's a low, medium, and high. I set mine to high because I want to know what everybody's doing and if they're missing. Like if they don't come to class for a couple days, that's not great. Whether it's like, hey, I'm leaving the gym or I'm sick or I'm hurt. You guys know there's like 100 people in your gym. You don't know what everyone's doing all the time. And this helps me remember to go talk to them because they haven't signed in. Usually it has to do with signing in. There's other stuff in there too. But you can't see, well, let me just see if I can scroll this down. Yeah, you can. So I got not contacted. I need to do something. Recently contacted, which I'm looking at now. And then not recently contacted, or you can snooze them. So like if I know Timmy is going to England for a month, I can snooze his retain so that because I know he's gone, right? Another cool feature that I love as a business owner is the tools are here. Like the mentoring companies will tell you, hey, when you don't interact with your customers and they leave, you lose this much money, right? And again, without profit, there is no passion. So we need to have profit. So this says that if I've got 13 at-risk clients and I've set it to high, so they're not really at risk, but I want to be way on top of it. It says based on our lifetime value of a customer, which ours is like, well, I guess depends how you measure it. It used to be like 2.5 years. Now they're saying on the new measurement is 9 months. So I don't know exactly what they're doing on the measurement, but it changed dramatically. Anyway, it's saying that $20,000 is at risk of being lost for the business. Now, our landlord messed us up tremendously. Last October, he bumped up nearly doubled rent, and I got to come up with something like 20 grand. So right there, I'd be like, shoot, I'm already could be in the hole 20 grand. And if I lose these guys, that's double the problem. So this helps me understand the value of what I'm doing. And you think to yourself, well, I don't really need to contact anybody. You do, because one, they're humans and that's the right thing to do. And then two, it impacts your business dramatically. And since this is our back end tool, this tells us what's going on. So if all of these people, I mean, again, I set the schema to be super high risk. So it's not actually that, but anyway, so it's going to tell you, hey, if they left, that's 20 grand. You're probably like in trouble of shutting down your gym. If you put it at low risk and it was still 20 grand, you're really in trouble because they're saying these people are, wait, did I do low risk? Wait, well, whichever way I did that. No, I did high because I want to see everybody that could possibly go. Low is like, they missed a week. That's okay because they're probably on vacation. Anyway, so this is really good stuff. You can do all of your contacting right through this interface. So you can email them, you can set up a text, you can do an in-app chat. I just love how simple it is and how all in one place it is. For you guys that may be looking to like, hey, I probably want to sell my business one day. To have everything in Wodify is awesome because I have one tool to pass to a new owner and says it's all right here. I don't need to teach you 8 different systems. So learn to use the systems that you got and to learn to use them well. Okay, I'm going to keep going through this. Damn, I'm already at 16 minutes. All right, I'll go a little bit faster. Or rather, I'll skip a few things in order to get a little quicker. So progressions, it was initially intended to be like white belt, yellow belt, brown belt, black belt type progression. So you do these things, you can get your belts, and they can track that. I turned it around and said, well, shoot, we have progressions, or we have the standard way in which you would get like a kipping pull-up, right? So across the top here, I just built these out this week. Strict pull-up, double unders, rope climb, kipping pull-up, toes to bar, handstand, push-up, strict, bar muscle up, ring dips. That's what I've got so far. And so if I click on pull-up strict, there are 5 or 6 different levels. So if I click on the very first level, it says, let's see if I can make it show up. I can't make it show up. Let me do manage level and do number 1 is build strength. So if I click on that, it's got a whole series of stuff that I wrote in there that says, hey, this is the general thing you need to be able to do to build strength. So for example, if you're doing bar muscle up, then one of the prerequisites is like, well, you have to be able to do like a couple pull-ups, strict pull-ups, right? And you got to be able to do a couple kipping pull-ups, right? So you see the idea here is now there's a progression. So when clients say, hey, I would like to get my first pull-up, and you're like, great, let's Google something and give it to you. It's already in the system. If I'm CrossFit Garage, if you want to copy and paste this, you have my permission. Just tell Wodify, hey, take whatever Andy did and put it into my thing so I can use it too. You probably want to go in there and edit it because we may not agree on what's the best way to get a first pull-up, but you know, if you follow a process, that's better than no process, right? Okay, then we got classes. I think all of you guys are already using this. You can make reservations. There's a calendar, there's a list view. There's different programs and pricing. There's appointments. You can set all those up. Appointments are what you think they are. And you can connect your calendar and Google Calendar. Your calendar and Wodify's calendar. So it will populate stuff for you into your own calendar. I love that. There's a financial piece of it. Let me see if there's any wisdom in either of those to share. Okay. I couldn't come up with a way to not get too many names and dollar amounts. And I don't know what YouTube doesn't like. So I'm just going to tell you some of the things we do. And probably the biggest one is that you can set up. If you have your coaches listed in the class and they log into their own class, then you can use it to help you do a payroll type of deal. So you can tell it, I do weekly payroll, and it'll just tell you, hey, Timmy did 6 classes. Then you know to pay him 6 times 20 or whatever your rate is, right? If you set it up, you could actually tell it Timmy gets $20, or maybe Timmy has his L4, so he gets $50, right? You can set it up that way, and it's great because it just tells you. Right now I use text and it's not great, but it works for us. I need to start using this, but I don't. I would love to hear what you guys do if anybody of you are using payroll. The thing that I'm most impressed with is I did not know how much the credit card fees actually were. And so Wodify will actually just tell you up in the corner, like, hey, did you know that you're spending X amount of dollars for credit card fees? I'm like, what the hell? I didn't know that. So not only are they charging, of course, you knew they were charging because we're the business, right? But originally my number was like, I don't know, I think it was like $15,000 per year in fees for credit cards and ACHs. So a credit card is usually going to be like $7. An ACH draft is usually like $4, something like that. Obviously, American Express is way higher than, say, Discovery. But what I figured out because of that was, okay, not everybody, like we now pass on fees. So we've had the same rate since 2022. So we didn't change our rates. We just said, hey, we're going to pass on fees. So that was the rate change. So it's like, I don't know, like $7 onto their account. But if I got legacy members or members that were a member before that, then it hasn't changed. So I didn't change them yet. But what I did ask them is like, hey, look, if you guys would switch from a credit card to a bank draft, it would just save me in fees. If you don't care about the points, then you could save us money, and I would love that. So instead of paying $15,000 a year in processing fees, because my members are so awesome, they've said, yeah, we'll change. I still have a couple people, maybe 30 or so that are still just on a credit card. That's fine. We've talked about it, and they're like, yeah, I like the points. I don't know, whatever. But as you can tell, a bunch of them, if you're looking at the screen, it's now $5,400 in yearly processing fees. So I've dropped, or I have saved $10,000. That was literally just going to the credit card company. So my members saw nothing from it except the convenience of running a credit card. And I saw nothing from it except the convenience of a card. But now that they went to ACH and a bunch of people said, hey, you can pass it on, we've knocked out $10,000 of expenses. And primarily, I would say everyone went to ACH. I think there's a whole bunch of them there. Although new people are on most of them. Anybody after 2022 is on Pass On. Of course, they can pass on less fees to themselves by using their bank draft. But anyway, okay, that's a huge thing for you gyms out there. So when the landlord said, hey, we're bumping up rent, you got to come up with another, what was it, like an extra 40 grand? I don't remember what it was, but it was a lot of money. I'm like, well, there's 10,000 of it right there in just credit card fees. So that was pretty cool. All right. So retail we do use, I'm not going to go through that one. Digital presence. Let me see if there's any cool in there. Oh yeah, there's something in there. Custom branding. Make sure you do that. There's also documents like your waiver and your contracts. I don't do contracts or whatever. We do use Wodify websites. And I will tell you this, their website is pretty damn awesome. And it's a dang website. Nobody in the gym, even one person has asked, and we've been using it for like 4 months now. One person said, hey, did the website change? I don't see the workout online. I'm like, yes, but it's actually in the app too. And she was like, oh, it's in the app. Yeah, I can just look there. So none of your members ever go to the website. I do get less leads right now because we put pricing on the website. And I like that. As a human being, I want to see your price. If you're hiding your price, I almost don't want to shop with you. So we followed the mentor advice, don't show your pricing if you want more leads. And it's true, we got more leads because we didn't show our pricing, but almost all of those leads were just shopping. So these aren't the numbers, but just roll with me. Let's say we got 20 leads a month without showing our pricing. 5 of them were actually really interested and were going to join. So the other 15 were like, I was just price shopping. So now we still get those same 5 leads, except they pretty much all joined. So my workload has dropped down in communication. Yeah, I know I don't get their email and we don't get to troll them over time, but that's fine. Right now I need less work, which is where some of these workflows and this automation is come into play. So let's see. Yeah, workflows is next. Okay, it's pulled up here. Workflows, if you want to build something, that is totally cool. You're probably not going to want to do that. I'm an electrical engineer by degree. I can program in multiple languages. And so this is like scratch coding, whatever. It's super easy. I had my kid come home for the summers doing computer science. And as my intern, he transitioned all of our stuff that was in UpLaunch, which was fading out, and moved our business into Wodify workflows. And he's like, yeah, it was super easy. But again, we do this thing. I wouldn't say build it on your own. Wodify has a team that'll do if you want anything to be built for you. But the cool thing is they already have the stuff that you really need. So there's attendance milestones for functional fitness, for jiu-jitsu, or just universal. So it doesn't have to be one of our 2 types of environments. There's client nurture. There's lead nurture. There's membership management. There's a starter. There's all sorts of stuff. I don't have them all turned on because I'm not a jiu-jitsu place. And there's functional fitness, which is what I am. So I just turned on the ones that I wanted to turn on. You can go to the community and buy some. There's a whole bunch of stuff, but these workflows create the automation. So imagine a lead drops, so they go to your website and they put in the information, it goes into Wodify, and now it starts a whole workflow cycle. What's the first thing you want to happen for a lead? Well, they should get a text immediately. Well, that was supposed to be a snap. There we go. Immediately. I actually fool about with the text, and actually I need to go adjust this when I used to do this. I need to do it in here. I tell them, hey, this text is quick because it's automated. Half of these are automated, half of them are me. If you really need me, just hit reply, and we'll get to you really, really quick. But I'm a human, and my wife needs me, and I'm not as fast as, a machine. It doesn't say all that, but you get the point. So a text goes out, you're in our system. Then an email goes out because that's what it should do. And then a task comes up and says, hey, Andy, you now have Timmy as a new lead. You want to go do that thing that's set up. And usually, so look, I've been doing this for nearly 17 years. The only thing that works is you picking up the phone and calling them, or maybe texting them, but you physically doing something. So I did a study for a year on all the up-launch stuff I was using. And what I came down to was not a damn thing mattered except actually picking up the phone or actually texting them with your thumbs. So automation is great. It makes you quick and it makes them remember you, but you have to do something yourself. So, a lot of their automation, not a lot of it, there are steps in there to say, Andy called him, Andy called him, Andy called him. And that's great because it reminds me, oh yeah, today I need to call him. And I block out a 2-hour gap in my schedule every day to run through stuff that I need to do. It doesn't always take 2 hours, which means I get free time, but I leave that gap open. And I'm actually building things too. So if I get extra time, then I'm building more progressions and stuff. But this workflow is something that you don't really need to touch, but you need to turn on, and then it'll hit with the tasks that are back up above, which we already talked about. You can build your own, like, hey, I want the, this is already in there, but I want the, every time a member hits 100, 500, or 1,000 sessions, then I want to say, well done, or give them a shirt or a high five or something. So they totally have that. Of course, then you have your account settings. I don't even show any of that. So this is how I'm using it. Some of the things that I'm doing to make life easier for me. I really feel like now with this tool and everything being in one place, my 16-year-old could probably run the gym for me for a month or two, and it would go pretty good, right? There is some analyticals. Actually, I should probably show you that. Okay, so in the analytics, there's reports and insights. So the thing I really wanted to show you is this reports. So there's a whole bunch of reports you can get, and you can star the ones that are most of interest to you or you hit a lot. And of course, invoices like, hey, I bet you there's some that haven't been paid. Let me go and look. So I do that. But there's new members, lost members, failed transactions, just different things you probably want to see. The other really big cool one is if you go to custom reporting and darn it, it's not turned on. I need to turn that back on. You can get into custom reporting, and there's other reports you can get like, actually, let me see if I can find that in a different way for you, but it's the committed board. So we have found by putting up anybody that shows up 12 times or more a month on the board, it helps people become, again, sticky. And is it like a gamification? Sure. But you know what it does? It has them come in. And if they come in, they're going to be harder to kill. That's really what I want. If I could do all this and people would just be healthy, then I wouldn't have to have a gym. It would but we're the type of people that like community. All right, let me see if I can find that report for you. Okay, so I did find a report. I can't set it up so that I can hide everything, so I'm just going to hide a little bit of it. But the important part is I set it up in this one report called attendances for last month, and it shows you in order the number of attendances people had. And we just write it up on the board. So it's awesome. Now there's a custom report that'll actually just drop the whole month with whatever number you set it to, and that's the one I couldn't show you. So this is how I'm using Wodify to run the gym with way less effort than I ever thought possible, especially with the workflows and how we were using UpLaunch forever, and that just went away. And it was nice to have some pre-built stuff. Actually, let me show you that. But it didn't actually help move the needle. Once I actually tracked everything in a Google, we had a massive spreadsheet tracking this. Let me show you the other thing in their workflows that you'll like. Okay, so they've got these email templates. So what we used to have in UpLaunch was basically the same email scattered around inside of a lead or a 100-day journey or established member. You're going to talk about nutrition, it's the same thing. So they just peppered it in somewhere, but it was the same email, but it was like its own individual email. So they took the same email and copied and pasted it. What Wodify does is it says, here's your template. So what I had Evan do, my summer intern, is go through there and change them and add some things to the template. Because when it takes it and drops it into a member or drops it into a lead, it's taking this template, the one, and it's using it all over the place. Now, when I adjust one, it adjusts for everything, which is great. So if there's one on hey, you should eat better, then I put in on how to stop consuming sugar podcast. So it's just great to be able to affect it one time and it be generated all over the place. So anyway, guys, this is good stuff. These are things we're going to talk about, how to use a system. We'll go into depth in a whole lot more of these. You guys will probably be able to have a lot of things to share between each other. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be, like I said, December 7th. At my gym, CrossFit Garage in Woodstock, Georgia, starting at 11 a.m. Hopefully get Wodify to sponsor a steak lunch for you guys. And my hope is to get about 20 owners in here. If I don't get 20 or maybe 30 owners, I'll buy some chairs or rent some chairs. If I don't get everybody filled up, what I'll do is I know there's some people looking at Wodify. I'll open it up to some of their, I guess what they would call their leads, and to say, like, hey, this is what we're doing. I mean, do it, don't do it, I don't know, but this is how other gyms are using it. Maybe it would be useful to you. So I would love to give people a hand up. I was a two-brain gym for a long time, and I love Chris Cooper's saying, help first. It's beautiful. My sister owns a gym in CrossFit Plant City, and she was with Best Hour of Their Day, and she loves their stuff. I listen to both their podcasts, and she and I swap stories. That mentoring is awesome. If you've never done it, you should definitely do it for at least a little bit, because it really helps you shape your game up. But the tools, Wodify, is how you actually get it done when they tell you, hey, you should contact your leads really quick. These are the tools to make it happen. All right, guys, looking forward to seeing you there. Take care.